the stereotypes would you say, Korean women have of foreign men?
They're like, oh, big, strong. Like, oh, how many push-ups can you do? Like, oh, can you lift me?
And would you say, like Korean women are open to dating Latin American men or like just Latin men in general?
So if you don't suit that stereotype, maybe it's kind of harder for you.
What would you say, dating a Korean gay man is like?
And once actually, I once broke up with a Korean guy because I answered maybe 5 or 6 hours late.
Where are you from and how long have you lived in Korea?
I'm from Illinois in United States of America, and I've been living in Korea for about a year now.
Hi, my name is Marcel. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Germany, and I've been in Seoul since September.
I've been here almost 3 years, and I'm from California.
I'm from Rockville, Maryland, so that's just north of DC. Been here for about a week and a half.
My name is Adamo Adeyemi. I've been in Korea for about 3 months now and study abroad. I've actually been studying Korean, though, for almost 2.5 years.
My name is Daniel Martinez. I'm from Colombia, basically. I'm student here in Korea, and I've been living here for a little more than 1 year.
Hi, I'm Maz. I'm from Iran, 26, and I study at University of Seoul, Korean literature.
And how has that experience been for you so far?
It's a lot of fun. Korea is a great experience for travelers and foreigners.
So in the beginning, I was a bit overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. It's different, man. It's very, very different. But now, after some time, I really feel like I settled here. I know my favorite food spots. I know my clubs, my bars, and I got to meet some great people here as well. So now I'm good. I really like it. I enjoy it.
It's easy to get around, and I love the food. It's really cool and entertaining.
No, I like it because the people here are really friendly. The transportation's really easy. The food's really good. Like I'm from California, so I don't really know what a winter is. So it's nice being able to like snow every now and then. So
What is dating like as a foreign man in Korea?
What is dating like? It's a little broad of a question, But in general, I guess I can only speak from like my experience. But for the most part, I'd say, Korean girls are amazing. I can say personally, I think Korean girls are beautiful. It's like they're really kind. They have really great values, and in general, I think like for me personally, I've made some pretty good connections. I've had like about 2 relationships the past 3 months, or at least I've been with 2 people.
Well, normally it's completely different, as I told you before. Normally, in our culture, we are kind of more up to meeting people in person, but here is, since people is like kind of really reserved with their own lives, dating by apps is kind of really common among Korean people. So using dating apps for me is something that is not really suitable because I'm not like that extroverted or that good by chatting, but here is really important. So
Dating in Korea it's a lot of fun. There's always something to do. You could just walk down any street and like have a great experience. So it's a lot of fun.
It depends. So you seem to be different, right? There's not that many foreigners in Korea, so at first glance, they seem very interested, but sometimes you have the feeling like they just want to have some fun with you and then drop you off the next day, basically. So they're really interested in the moment, but it's hard to kind of keep up the conversations and meet them like over a couple of days. And yeah, I feel like it's a bit superficial sometimes. I tried online dating here. I swiped, but I was not really too keen on meeting somebody online here because first of all, the city is quite overwhelming. You have so much things to do. And I'm a fan of like meeting somebody in person and going with the flow instead of going on a coffee date, for example, and then sitting next to each other and not talking at all. So yeah, I'm a smooth guy. I like to what's up?
As a foreign man, honestly, I thought it'd be difficult, but when you have good wingmen like the fellows over there, it's just it flows like water. It's really easy, yeah.
What's it like dating as a foreign gay man in Korea?
So like the Korean society is not that open yet, and a lot of people try to keep it secret, whereas I don't mind personally, and that already narrows down my options a lot. And there are a lot of open-minded people, and I haven't been lucky to meet one, I guess.
How would you say, like the dating scene is in Korea compared to America?
As a foreigner in Korea, you get a lot more attention, I would say. But compared to America, it's like people here are a lot more open-minded. I feel like the population of people who date in America, you're more likely to run into somebody who doesn't share your values. It ends up just not being like a very good experience.
And you made mention earlier on that it's hard to like connect with like Korean girls. Why is it hard to connect with Korean girls?
It depends. It's just such a different culture. They have different interests. I'm not here for the K-pop and for the K-dramas and stuff. I just like the city because I think it's interesting. But most of the young girls here tend to have more or less the same kind of hobbies. They're really into like beauty and I don't know, like dramas and K-pop artists. And if they can't speak English that well, it's hard to excel this point of a conversation. I really like to have a deep connection with somebody, talk about their fears, their emotions, their joy, whatever. And if you can't communicate in the first glance, then it's just hard to keep up the conversation, right? And it's a pain in the ass sometimes. But if you find the right person, it's not everyone, you know? There's still like super unique and nice people here.
What are the stereotypes? Would you say, Korean women have a foreign men?
So, like they think that the military men are like really like loud and kind of obnoxious. So, I just kind of try to be as far away from like that stereotype as possible.
They're like, oh, big, strong. Like, oh, how many push-ups can you do? Like, oh, can you lift me? Let's work out together. But I mean, for the most part, I enjoy working out. So I don't know if I can say there's been too many stereotypes that I felt have been placed on me.
Normally, the stereotypes they have about Latin Americans is like all the stereotypes people have. We are sexys, calientes, and normally we are, more sexual than romantic, which in a way could be, like kind of difficult for us at the moment of dating people. Yeah.
What would you say, like the gay community is like in Korea?
I haven't submerged myself in completely yet. I would say they are pretty open, and some of them who are like performers and drag queens inspiring and just like inspires me to be courageous and brave as like them. There are also a lot of people who would like to keep it a secret.
Would you say, like Korean women are open to dating foreign men?
Yeah, I feel like they would love to try it out. I'm not sure if they're looking for a long-term relationship. Sometimes they hope for it, but then the Western people, they're mostly here for vacation or for studies, so they're probably going to go back at some point on their travel, right?
What would you say, like the struggles are dating a Korean woman?
I think, like I mentioned a little bit before, kind of adjusting to their expectations of you, because I think different from like my experience dating back home, I think some Korean girls are very much so like if you don't message them back in like for like a day or two, especially after like texting them for like pretty consistently, 금방 삐져요. That's something that I realize I'm like, all right, in general, you kind of don't want to like go crazy on like giving them crazy attention in the beginning, because sometimes that can lead to them expecting that all the time.
And would you say, like Korean women are open to dating Latin American men or like just Latin men in general?
In general, I think Koreans in their mind they have kind of an stereotype of how a foreigner looks like. So if you don't suit that stereotype, maybe it's kind of harder for you.
So can you explain like what the stereotypes are?
Well, normally, in my opinion, normally I can see like my friends who are kind of white and they have like European features. They are more likely to be, kind of being accepted in a way or they easily can dating with people. But if you are kind of dark skin as me in a way, it's kind of more difficult. And normally they are up normally for countries in Europe. I mean, if you are French, maybe Spanish, or those of that countries are kind of easier for you. And if you are just like a Latin American.
What would you say, dating a Korean gay man is like?
Koreans, they are really like sensitive about communication, and you have to like always answer them, answer their calls, reply back as quick as possible. And I once broke up with a Korean guy because I answered maybe 5 or 6 hours late because I was working. I told him that I was working, and we broke up. But that was not the last time. After that, there were also like other episodes. So a lot of attention, and you have to put so much effort in it.
Do you think you need to know Korean as a foreign man to be able to like, date a Korean girl?
It helps, it definitely helps. But, if you know a little bit, like 안녕하세요, if you smooth with it, you can impress the girls. But as I said, if you cannot communicate, how are you going to go after that, right? So you really have to hope for the other person to speak English, which is a bit obscure because you're in their country, right? So it's your obligation normally to adapt to that. So it really depends on the person you're meeting.
If you kind of know a little of Korean, you kind of get a boost among, all the people, because you in a way understand how they see the world. If you know a little of the language, or if you are fluent, obviously it will be easier for you because they can sincerely express what they are thinking in their own language, which is more comfortable for them.
What would you say, like the struggles are for you as a gay person, like dating in Korea?
If you like someone on the street and you want to approach them, you have to be like really brave, and it almost never happens. So that's why a lot of people are just using like apps. Of course, there are a lot of not nice people there online, and I would say it's really easy to get your heart broken as a gay guy living here.